This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. If you don't know because you don't watch Fox News a lot or at all, they have been on a jag since the vaccines were released, since the Biden administration and the vaccines were released, spreading disinformation and fear and propaganda related to the vaccines and vaccine mandates and mask mandates, generally sowing chaos and fear about all those items. All while their company policy has been stricter than even federal guidelines. And it appears that Fox News is going to host an event where they're requiring vaccinations or a negative COVID-19 test. All while Tucker Carlson and the idiots at Fox and Friends and Sean Hannity sow fear and discontent on a nightly basis. I'm going to read a little bit from this Business Insider article highlighting the horrific hypocrisy of Fox News. The article is entitled, "Tucker Carlson and other Fox hosts are holding an event that requires vaccination or a negative COVID-19 test." Several prominent Fox News hosts who've aggressively campaigned against COVID-19 vaccine mandates are hosting an in-person Fox Nation event that requires attendees to either be vaccinated or show proof of a negative coronavirus test. Now, if you listen to Sean Hannity or Tucker Carlson, that's tyranny. That is oppression of the highest order. No, it's normal. It is a good thing that they're doing that because it protects the general public health. But to them, if you listen to them on their stupid shows, it is wild overreach of any organization to require that. When Tucker Carlson is asked if he's vaccinated, he likens it to asking if he has sex with his wife and in what position. He said, hey, that's a deeply personal question. You can't ask me that. And yet they're requiring proof of it to be in the same room with Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity. An email sent by Fox and Friends co-host Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth, you'll remember, hasn't washed his hands in 10 years, he says, because he can't see germs, and if he can't see them, they don't exist.
As I told you, my 2019 resolution is to say things on air that I say off air. I don't think I've washed my hands for 10 years. Really, I don't really wash my hands ever.
Help me.
No, I inoculate myself. It's just not, germs are not a real thing. I can't see them, therefore they're not real.
Remember that, dummy? The email was sent by Hegseth inviting his fans to come in person to support our patriots and celebrate our great republic together at the Fox Nation Patriot Awards in Hollywood, Florida on November 17th. He added that some of the cable's biggest stars, including Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, Laura Ingraham, Dan Bongino, and the hosts of Fox and Friends, will also appear at the event. Here are those emails. These images are courtesy from a Twitter account, John Whitehouse, at Existential Fish on Twitter. The fine print, you'll notice, on one of these is quite at odds with Fox News messaging. Quote, attendees must show either a COVID-19 vaccine card or proof of a negative COVID test taken 72 hours prior to the event in order to gain entrance, it read. Yeah. Listen, it's hard to, I think it's maybe impossible to offend me, difficult to embarrass me, but this would be embarrassing to me. This would be shameful to talk this way out of one side of my mouth and then out of the other doing something completely different. It's disgusting. And yet, It's the regular course of order of business for Fox News. The event will include book signings, photo opportunities, giveaways, and live show tapings, and raise funds for the veterans-focused charity Building Homes for Heroes Foundation. Tickets range from $125 to $500 per person. The event's coronavirus policy is similar to Fox Corp's employee policy. Fox News requires all of its on-site employees to either be vaccinated or be tested daily. The network has asked its employees to submit their vaccination status and said in September that about 90% of its employees had been vaccinated. The company's COVID-19 policy directly contradicts what many of the network's most popular hosts have argued for months. Tucker Carlson, has compared vaccine requirements to Jim Crow racial segregation laws and has long spread false and misleading information about the science behind the vaccines. Now, it shouldn't surprise anybody that someone who compared these vaccine requirements to Jim Crow segregation would be happy to attend an event where a thing he thinks is Jim Crow is taking place. It's Tucker Carlson, after all, the host of Fox News' nightly white supremacy fireside chat. And maybe Sean Hannity's just a pumpkin-headed goon who doesn't know. He and other hosts regularly condemn President Joe Biden's vaccine or test policy for large employers and vaccine mandate for the military and other federal employees and contractors. But Carlson refuses to say publicly whether he's been vaccinated and won't discuss his own employer's vaccination policy, which is stricter than Biden's requirement for the private sector. And then here is just the chef's kiss, the cherry on top when trying to get to the bottom of their hypocrisy, or at least get them to acknowledge it. They're too scared. They ignore the questions. When asked to address the company's policy on a conservative podcast last month, Tucker said, "I'm not qualified to speak for the company on this because I don't run the company." You're not qualified to speak on anything, frozen vegetable boy. Sean Hannity has also refused to speak about his own network's vaccine or test mandate, despite regularly criticizing such policies on air. So they reserve their criticism for the rest of the world, the rest of the country, while completely ignoring, not making statements on the very policy under which they're employed. Because they are disgusting hypocrites, liars, shameful, dignity-free, the clowns who work at Fox News and the propaganda outlet. What do you think, though? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. I'd love to hear from you. This is not surprising, but it is not something we should ignore. Like many things in our world today. Follow me on social media. I'd love to connect with you there. I'm at Dollemore all the way across the board. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere where there's social media, I find a way to be there. Life wins out, isn't that the phrase? And if you appreciate my work, if I bring you some value on a day-to-day basis, please consider supporting my work here on the platform. For as little as $1.99 a month, you can click the join button below this video, right there below the video. Click it, join. See what's involved, decide whether you want to become a channel member for as little as $1.99 a month. And if that's not your thing, if you're already maybe over on Patreon giving to a creator, you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast and help support and produce my work there. Not just for the podcast, also absolutely for my YouTube videos. Anyway, I love you guys. I will see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.